Hello everyone, today's column has not been for a very long time, namely the reception of sweets from the supermarket. I think we've been missing it. Let's go. And the first thing we gotta do is repeat the German sweets called Toffifee. Let's figure out what they consist of. We cut the candy into 2 parts, and we see only 4 ingredients: soft caramel, then a nut, chocolate nougat, and drops of dark chocolate. So, to make the caramel, pour 200 grams of sugar, 60 grams of corn syrup, pour 80 milliliters of water, a couple of drops of vanilla extract, and put that all on the stove. Be sure to monitor the temperature with a thermometer. As soon as the caramel is heated to 130 degrees, measure 150 milliliters of cream, pour it in, and mix. The color of caramel is similar to that of the toffee. So now it's already ready. And we take such a silicone mold with a lot of small hemispheres, we pour caramel all over them, and smear it along the walls. For the next layer, we cut off 10 grams of butter and send that into the saucepan. We break a bar of milk chocolate into here and pour in 40 grams of heavy cream. We put that on the stove and mix it until the chocolate melts and all this becomes a homogeneous mass. To make the nougat lighter, we add white chocolate. The first caramel layer is already frozen, therefore we pour nougat into the hemispheres. It's time to put a hazelnut into the candy, but we have it that are unclean, so to fix this we send the nuts to the baking sheet and put in the oven for 14 minutes. After such a procedure, the husk practically flies off by itself. And you can lay out the hazelnuts. For the final layer, we break a bar of dark chocolate into a saucepan. Add a little butter, and put it on the stove. Melt the chocolate and pour it into a cooking bag. Now we just squeeze out beautiful drops on the very top of our candies. Let's knock the mold a little bit on the table and cool it down in the fridge. Our homemade Toffifee are ready. You can take them out of the form. Very similar, so that's just the caramel, a slightly different color. Let's look at the cross section. The similarity with the original is probably 70%, and it doesn't taste, not one by one, but it looks very tasty. The next thing that we will repeat in this dry breakfast of blue minis, sweet squares with cinnamon. When you pour it with milk, and you can eat it. It's a very delicious breakfast, and after reading the composition, I think that we'll repeat it. First of all, we send a little bit of rice flour into a bowl, and a lot more whole wheat flour. This is the most useful thing that will be in our breakfast. Then add sugar, add some oil, a little baking powder, gradually pour in the water, and mix it with a spatula. Then we knead it with our hands. We are left with a dough like this. Tear off half of it and crush it with our hand on a sheet of parchment. Roll it out with a rolling pin into a rather thin layer. We cut the uneven edges with a knife. And that way we get a large square. Now we put some corn syrup, a little bit of water, and cinnamon into the bowl. Mix that all up thoroughly. Now we get a liquid syrup with cinnamon. We lubricate our large square of dough with it. And cut it with a knife into small, even squares. Then we spread them all out over the baking sheet. and put it into the oven for 15 minutes. Done. At this stage, they are already very similar to the blue minis. That's just the purchased ones are sprinkled with more sugar. Therefore, we pour our syrup with cinnamon and mix it well with our hands so that they become sticky. They should be really sticky. Sprinkle them with sugar and mix it again. And a little bit of powdered sugar. At this point, the home blues of the miniseries are ready. Let's fill it with milk. They are as crispy as store-bought ones, and they taste almost one and the same. And for the last thing that we're going to repeat today is probably the most legendary gum that has been on sale since the 90s. And it is called Love Is. Each color of the wrapper has its own taste. For example, this one is banana strawberry. I think almost everyone knows the taste of this gum. Well, let's make it at home. The most difficult thing in the preparation of chewing gum is to get such a chewing base. It is used in factories for the preparation of all kinds of gum. Since Love has 2 flavors, we pour the chewing gum into 2 bowls. We need strawberry and banana flavors. Open them up and add a little bit to the chewing base. And to repeat the color, you need some dyes. Where the banana flavor is, pour in the yellow dye. And where strawberry, pour in pink. And for sweetness, you're going to need some corn syrup. Add a tablespoon each. Compared to sugar, it is very easily mixed into the total mass. The smell and color are already there. There are some flavor additives left. We decided to make them naturally. Therefore, we peeled the banana and cut it into slices. After that, we'll take a dehydrator and put the banana pieces all over it. Strawberries are also needed. Of course, we had some frozen, but nevertheless, the taste was preserved in them. We also put them into the dehydrator. Cover them with a lid and turn it on. We leave all that to dry for 2 days. As time passes, this is what happens. Bananas have turned into such crispy chips. We transfer them into a coffee grinder and crush them into a dust. Pour all this into the chewing base. But the strawberries have not dried out so much and are still a little bit wet. Therefore, we simply cut it with a knife and get a nice doughy texture. We send strawberries to the bowl and now in the microwave for a couple of minutes. Our chewing base has warmed up and becomes soft. We thoroughly mix all of our components into it. And we're left with a homogeneous, stretchy mass. We also send the strawberry bunches into the microwave. Stir them. And we're left with a chewing gum with a strawberry flavor. We're waiting for it to cool down a little bit and take 2 identical pieces. We cut them in half lengthwise with a knife. We need to repeat the shape and arrangement of the colors in the original Love Is gum. Therefore, we connect these 4 pieces in the correct sequence. Then, with a square stick, we make depressions in the right places. We cut off the uneven edges, trim it a little bit more, and our homemade Love Is gum is ready. We didn't just repeat it, but made it even more beautiful and bigger than the original. So now it's time to try it. It's a pity that the original Love Is gum is not as tasty as ours. In our country, the taste of banana and strawberry is as saturated as possible and lasts many times longer. And if you want us to repeat the food from a supermarket, then put some likes into this video. 200,000 likes and we will continue. Write in the comments what you would like me to repeat, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all soon.